A comedian so famous he can end an entire noontime show debate with one raised eyebrow. Just built himself a 1,300 square meter industrial fortress with a glass-bottom pool floating above his living room. That's Vice Ganda for you, the Philippines' undisputed unkabogable star, and apparently its most understated real estate mogul. You'd think a guy this loud on camera would live even louder. Neon walls, gold everything, a disco ball the size of a satellite dish. But no, Vice went the opposite direction. And honestly, that's exactly why this story is worth telling. Let's rewind. This wasn't an overnight flex. Back in 2011, long before industrial chic was even a phrase Pinterest moms knew how to spell, Vice quietly gifted his mom, Rosario Visceral, a 3-story house in Quezon City. It was his surprise gift to his mother after his earnings started rolling in. No press conference, no teary Instagram caption. It took 8 months to build the 360 square meter home, and the whole thing was wrapped in a minimalist black and white theme that honestly looked more boutique hotel than showbiz flex. And here's the twist people forget. That house wasn't even for him. It was for his mom. While half of Manila's celebrities were parking Lamborghinis in their driveways for the paparazzi to snap, Vice was quietly building his mother a home with a Kohler-fitted bathroom and an egg-shaped chair he claimed as his personal thinking spot. Low noise, high value. That's the pattern you're going to see over and over again in this story. But that Quezon City house from 2011? That was just the opening act. Because almost exactly a decade later, Vice pulled off round 2. And this time, the scale went from nice house to, is this a boutique hotel or a bunker? So here's the first thing you need to know. The house everybody actually calls Vice Ganda's mansion today isn't the one from 2011 at all. It's a brand new 1,300 square meter industrial style home that took years to complete. He unveiled it in 2021, and when the doors finally opened, people realized this wasn't a renovation. This was a total reinvention of what a celebrity home in the province of Metro Manila could look like. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because most stars go bright, loud, tropical, Vice went full industrial, gray and black color palette, minimalistic interiors top to bottom. If you didn't know better, you'd think you wandered into a high-concept Berlin loft, not the home of the guy who's been cracking jokes on primetime TV for over a decade. But don't let the moody color scheme fool you into thinking it's boring, because up next is the detail that might have made the entire internet stop scrolling. Inside, there's an elevator built specifically to help his mother move between floors with ease. Not a flashy feature, not something you'd show off first in a house tour, but it tells you everything about how this entire mansion was actually designed. Every square meter, every finish, every walkway, built around family first, aesthetics second. And then, just when you think it's all sentiment and no spectacle, the house throws you a curveball. An elevated swimming pool made entirely of glass, suspended like it's floating above the living space below. It's the kind of feature you'd expect in a Dubai penthouse, not tucked into a residential lot in the Philippines. So we've got heart and we've got flex, living under the same roof. And honestly, that combination is exactly why this house became the talk of the country the moment it was revealed. But we've barely scratched the surface. Because inside those gray concrete walls is a level of detail that turns a house tour into something closer to an architecture masterclass. Stick around, because what's coming next is where things get genuinely wild. Step inside that living room, and here's where the industrial vibe stops being minimalist and starts being downright theatrical. There's a life-sized horse sculpture standing in the middle of the space like it wandered in and decided to stay. Next to it, a totem-like chair that looks more like modern art than furniture. And instead of the usual entryway console table everyone's grandmother has, Vice went with a vertical couch, a piece so unexpected it basically doubles as a conversation starter before guests even sit down. And here's the part that really messes with your expectations. The whole exterior is lined with lights, from the stairs all the way up to the front door. So even at night, the place doesn't go quiet. It just changes personality, glowing instead of gleaming. For a house built entirely around a gray and black color story, that's the twist nobody saw coming. A palette that sounds like it should feel cold ends up feeling like a stage set. Then, there's the detail that made this house tour go properly viral. A floor lamp shaped like a black horse, standing in a corner like it's guarding the place. It's playful, it's a little unhinged, and it's exactly the kind of touch that tells you Vice never fully left his personality at the door, even inside a house built on restraint. Add in a custom-built spa room, and suddenly industrial minimalism starts sounding like code for hotel you never have to check out of. But before you start picturing Vice choppering off to some secret hilltop palace every weekend, and yes, that rumor has been circulating for years, let's pump the brakes for a second. There's a viral hilltop property in San Juan, La Union, that's been tagged online as Vice Ganda's mansion for ages, complete with stories about him arriving by helicopter. Except locals and more recent posts about the property tell a different story, claiming the hilltop estate actually belongs to someone else entirely, and that the Vice Ganda label was just seismus that stuck. So take that one with a full block of rock salt. It's one of those celebrity real estate rumors that spread faster than anyone bothered to confirm it, which honestly makes the confirmed house, the 1,300 square meter Quezon City property, even more impressive, because everything about it is real, documented, and camera ready. No helicopter required. Now here's the part of the story that flips the entire script, because you'd expect a guy who spent years building his dream mansion to live in it forever, right? Wrong. In a recent interview, Vice admitted something that stopped fans in their tracks. The industrial mansion he worked so hard to complete is no longer what he actually wants. He called it flat out, "This used to be my dream house." Past tense, on purpose. Vice explained that his priorities have shifted. He's not chasing scale anymore, he's chasing simplicity. He said his taste has changed, that he now wants something smaller, something more low-key than the sprawling industrial estate he spent years perfecting. Think about that for a second. This is a man who built an elevator for his mom, a floating glass pool, a custom spa room, and now he's saying the achievement itself was the point, not the ongoing size of it. Once he hit the goal stopped mattering the way he thought it would. That's a plot twist you don't usually get in a celebrity house tour video, because most stars just keep building bigger. Vice built bigger, felt it, and then decided bigger wasn't actually the win. So if the mansion isn't the endgame anymore, what actually is? That's where this story gets genuinely interesting, because the answer says more about Vice Ganda's mindset than any square footage ever could. Let's get into it. So what actually replaced bigger house as the goal? Turns out, the answer isn't another property listing, it's people. Here's something that rarely makes it into the flashy house tour edits. Vice Ganda has spent years quietly running his own scholarship program, and it's not a one-time publicity stunt. He's currently sponsoring multiple students through college, and when one of his scholars is close to graduating, he simply opens a spot for the next one. No press releases required, just a quiet, ongoing rotation of paying it forward. And the reason behind it is honestly the most grounding thing in this entire story. Vice has said that his own education was funded by someone he never even met in person, a woman from Japan who sponsored him as a child and stayed his benefactor all the way through college. He never got to thank her face to face, so instead, he decided to become that person for somebody else. That's not charity as an image strategy. That's charity as debt repayment to the universe. Think about that timeline for a second. A kid whose schooling depended entirely on the generosity of a stranger grows up to become the highest-earning comedic star of his generation. And the first instinct isn't to hoard the win. It's to hand the exact same opportunity to someone else. That's the through line connecting the mansion, the scholarships, and everything in between. Build something impressive, then use it to support the people around you. Same pattern as the elevator for his mom, just at a bigger scale. And speaking of scale, let's talk numbers for a second, because this is where you realize the mansion isn't even the most impressive real estate in Vice's story. It's the box office. Vice Ganda holds the record for the most phenomenal box office star awards of any actor in Philippine cinema history. 8 of them, more than any other performer ever. That's not a lucky streak. That's a decade plus of consistently being the reason people bought movie tickets, year after year, genre after genre. So when you step back and look at the full picture, the mansion stops being the headline and starts being the footnote. It's proof of what the work built, not the point of the work itself. And that's exactly why Vice can stand in front of cameras and casually say he wants something smaller now. When you've already proven you can build the biggest thing in the room, you don't need to keep proving it. You get to choose simple on purpose, because simple isn't a downgrade anymore. It's a flex nobody else in the industry has the confidence to pull off. That's the real twist buried under all the glass pools and industrial lighting. This was never actually a story about square footage. It's a story about a guy who kept his most important decisions quiet for over a decade. Buying that first house for his mom without a press tour, building the mansion without over-explaining it, funding scholarships without turning it into a campaign, and only let the world catch up once the results were already speaking for themselves. So where does that leave us? A guy with 8 box office records, a mansion he's already outgrown emotionally, and a scholarship list longer than most people's Christmas card list. If that's not the definition of someone who's completely in control of their own story, I genuinely don't know what is. Coming up in the final stretch, what this all means for where Vice goes next, and why his next move might be the one that surprises everyone the most. So here's where it all lands. A guy who spent a decade quietly building instead of announcing, who turned a childhood scholarship into a lifelong habit of funding other people's futures, who holds more box office records than anyone else in Philippine entertainment history, and who just told the entire country his dream mansion isn't the dream anymore. That's not a contradiction. That's someone who's already won the game most celebrities are still playing. Because here's the thing nobody talks about enough. Building the big house is easy once you have the money. Admitting you've outgrown it? That's the hard part. That's the part that takes actual self-awareness. And it's rare to see a star say it out loud, instead of just quietly selling the place and moving on without comment. Vice didn't do that. He looked at the cameras and said, in so many words, this used to be my dream. And now, I want something smaller. That's a level of honesty most people in the industry never risk showing. And that's really the through line of this whole story. The Quezon City home, built for his mom in 2011. The 1,300 square meter industrial mansion that took years to complete and instantly became the most talked about celebrity house tour of its year. The scholarship program he's quietly kept running because someone once did the same for him. The 8 box office records nobody's come close to matching. None of it was built to impress anyone watching. It was built, used, and then, when it stopped serving its purpose, set aside for whatever comes next. So what has come next? If the pattern holds, it won't be another headline-grabbing mansion reveal. It'll probably be smaller, quieter, and about 5 years ahead of when the public actually finds out about it. Because that's just how Vice operates. He doesn't build for the reaction. He builds, lives in it, gets what he needs from it, and only opens the gates once he's already moved on to the next chapter. By the time we're doing a video about whatever he builds next, chances are he'll already be planning the one after that. And honestly, that's the real lesson hiding inside all this glass and steel and gray concrete. Success isn't the size of the house. It's having the freedom to walk away from something impressive because it no longer fits who you've become. Most people spend their whole lives chasing the big win and never stop to ask if they still want it once they have it. Vice got there, looked around, and had the guts to say, actually, I want less now. On camera, without spinning it into some big philosophical statement. He just said it plainly, the way he says everything. So here's the real question worth sitting with. If you built your absolute dream home tomorrow, would you actually want to live in it forever? Or would you eventually be standing in your own living room thinking the exact same thing Vice did? Drop your answer in the comments. Dream mansion forever, or simple house energy eventually? And if this deep dive into the real story behind Vice Ganda's mansion kept you hooked till the end, you know exactly what to do. Hit that subscribe button because we've got a lot more untold celebrity stories lined up and you don't want to miss the next one.